Well, the regular split is all done. There's a tiebreaker going on, but we're not going to count that. I'm joined right now by WildTurtle with coverage brought to you by Alienware to talk about FlyQuest's third place finish. It feels as though Turtle, so many people, and they reference this on the broadcast, we're talking about TSM, including myself. You know, it's like TSM C9, TL, and then suddenly you guys just like right into third place. So, I mean, did you? I guess you probably knew that this was a pretty big potential going into today.
Yeah, we definitely thought we were gonna hit third place going into today, so feels good to achieve it. We kind of just like, chilled under the radar, scooped up, took third place, so feels
Yeah.
pretty good.
Well, let's talk a little bit about how the split has been, because a lot of people were talking like on the desk just now about how for the second half of the split, especially since you came back to the team, people are like, "Oh man, Wild Turtle's doing a lot for this." You know, also your other teammates, but in particular, people have been talking about you a lot. So I'm kind of curious. People said that Mash coming in was in part because they felt like you weren't playing up to your standard. Do you see that? Like, what does the split look like for you?
I think going into, I guess, the start of summer, I wasn't, I guess, my normal self. I wasn't playing as well as I normally do. I didn't want to be a burden to the team as well, so I don't want to be like underperforming and having my teammates like carry me every game. So that wouldn't feel good to me as well. So I think that's like the big reason why we put on Mash to try to like motivate me and just all the shenanigans, turtle benched, whatever, whatnot. And then I wouldn't say it was like a huge wake up call for me. It was kind of just like I gotta just try in ways to motivate myself, and I think I'm finally able to do that. I think if I can keep motivating myself, I think we can actually win the split as well.
Nice. Well, yeah. I mean, what do you think the trajectory is? It sounds like you think you're going to be able to win the split based off of that. But you know, what do you think you guys will be able to accomplish in playoffs? Are we going to see you start dunking on people in the first best of fives, or is it this like slow and steady thing we've been seeing in the second half of the split?
Yeah, we're a pretty controlled team. I just think it's due to our team's playstyle. I think PoE is a pretty controlled player, and same with I think Ignar is like always waiting for like the big plays, and he puts a lot of pressure on the enemy team. So I think our team just works really well in the current style we're playing.
I was talking to Jensen just a little bit ago, and he was suggesting that he thinks you guys are better than TSM. I mean, he was talking about how TSM, in his opinion, is overhyped, but also saying like you laughed. Do you think TSM was overhyped?
I know. I mean, I'm just laughing off that comment because I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, he
Yeah,
tweeted at something about it too, but
yeah, yeah.
when I asked him about sort of the TSM stuff, he's like, I think C9 is better, and even potentially FlyQuest. So, do you consider FlyQuest better than TSM right now?
It's a hard one to say because we haven't played them in a while, and then the last game we did end up playing against them, like we kind of just had a really good level 1 plan. We shut down Spica just from the beginning of the game. In scrims, I think it can go either way when we scrim them. So I definitely wouldn't say we're necessarily better than them, but I think in a best of 5, I would give us a 60-40 chance to beat TSM right now.
Actually, that's a fair point. Sorry, I misquoted Jensen. He was saying that right now maybe TSM is second best, but he expects Cloud9 and you to potentially pass them in the playoffs. So we'll have to see how things play out there. But it sounds like you guys are feeling pretty confident. Where is most of the success coming from within the team? Because obviously you've stepped up, but do you feel like, in particular, you guys have any other big strengths?
I just think that everyone on this team is playing like pretty solid right now. I don't think we have a clear weakness that can be exploited at this given time. And I think that's what drives our team right now. Yeah, I don't know. Just I really can't point out a strong like a huge weakness in our team right now. We're just like a solid team. I think for me too, like maybe the 80 was like potentially the weakest link coming back, and then we just kind of got it together. So
I'm curious what you think of Cloud9's fall, because obviously there
uh
was a lot of discussion about FlyQuest and TSM deciding not to scrim. I still don't really know what happened on the TSM side, but at the very least, it was confirmed that you guys are decided not to scrim them. Do you think that perhaps not being able to scrim you has affected their performance?
I don't know. Maybe FlyQuest is the best team in C9 needs to scrim FlyQuest. Jokes aside, I really don't know what's going on with C9. Maybe they got a little bit overconfident, bit complacent. I'm not really too sure what happened there. I really expected them to, have a really dominant split again, considering they started 9-0. And for them to, get a little bit shaky towards the end is kind of maybe a wake-up call to the players to not get complacent. I think C9 will find their form going into playoffs. I think most teams are definitely ramping it up. It is summer, and everyone's goal is to get to Worlds, so it's going to be pretty competitive.
I'm also kind of curious for you. Do you have any ideas on who should be MVP?
Who should be MVP?
Because voting takes place soon.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're the person who votes for FlyQuest, but somebody from your
I mean, we had a joke earlier because we were watching the TSM TL game. It's like whoever wins this game, the Bjergsen will get MVP if TSM wins, and Core JJ.
Yeah,
MVP
I mean that's
if
kind.
TL
I think we
wins.
talked about that on Hotline League too. It kind of did feel like that game was really going to demonstrate who got it.
Yeah, I think Core JJ can deserve it. I think he's done a lot. Like he's playing with a rookie AD carry, and I think he's been doing really stellar plays. So.
Okay, so you would guess Core JJ over Bjergsen. Is there anybody else you think who's in the running? Because it does feel like everybody's just talking about the two of them.
Who else is in there? I think Jensen has honestly had a pretty good split. Like it kind of went under the radar because he played like a 0 for most of the games, but I think he played like pretty well too in the games I've seen in TL wins.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to see how things go.
Who do you think will be the MVP then, Travis?
I don't know if I can say because I am going to vote, but I do think, and you're not supposed to disclose it, but I do think that last game, I was looking at the TL-TSM game a lot to sort of see how both of those players played while in the same game with each other. Mm-hmm. And while I don't necessarily think you should ever be like, well, this team won because maybe Bjergsen played out of his mind or whatever, it definitely did make me feel like Core got a bit of a boost, right? Like it kind of helps that was their final match, and it was kind of between those two, at least that a lot of people are saying on MVP. So I haven't decided yet, but Hotline League is tomorrow, so maybe some TSM fans will convince me or something.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like TL's best regular.
Yeah,
record?
They've never had this record before.
That's crazy.
And I don't want to take anything away from them, but it is like this was kind of an unconventional split. We don't normally have a team that is like absolutely dominant for the very beginning and then just drops off so dramatically. And so I think that actually, like, I think Cloud9 doing so well and then like flunking at the end actually kind of helped them. I'd have to talk to like a stats person, but I think that put them in a pretty good position to succeed.
Yeah, it's definitely surprising for I think most of us as well as players that TL just had a crazy split. So
yeah, well, especially because they kind of like I've interviewed Brox and Jensen both, and it does feel like they kind of have a chip on their shoulder because it felt like TL had, as you said, the best split they've ever had, but people kept putting like an asterisk next to it. Even kind of me on Hotline League, I kind of called them out at one point in time as saying like, yeah, they're first maybe or they're up there, but they don't look like it. But it does feel like in the second part of the split or towards the end of the split, they're starting to really come into their own. So.
Yeah, we'll see. I think this playoffs for North America will be pretty interesting. I think there's a lot of I think there's like 5 pretty good teams right now, and I just think it can go either way. So
who would you predict in the finals?
In the finals, well, I was thinking us for sure. I mean, we were the finalists last split, so I think we can run it back and be the finalists again this split. So definitely us. And I think it's either going to be us and C9 or maybe us and TL, like one of the two. I don't know. Like both those teams, it's just going to be a brawl, I think the semifinals match and the winners bracket is going to be pretty nuts. So.
Yeah. No, I'm actually, it went from, this split was really weird because it went from me feeling very whatever about it and just being like, okay, C9 stomping everyone else sucks. So like, I'm actually pretty excited about the playoffs. Like I'm curious about how this Golden Guardians Golden Guardians TSM match is going to go. I mean, TSM did just beat them, but I feel like that has the potential to be good. I do feel like, up until today, even I feel like people were saying like, oh man, TSM or TL, who's the best in the league? And now TSM finished 4th, and you guys have, sort of ejected yourself into the conversation in a way I think you guys were overlooked before. So I'm really curious to see how it goes.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a banger. So yeah. Definitely looking forward to playing and watching the games as well.
Well, on that note, is there anything you want to say to any of the fans out there?
Nope. Shouts out.
Yeah.
FlyQuest.
Thank you so much, WildTurtle, and thanks for setting up this aquarium. That was really nice of you. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel.
See you guys.
You know, I've really missed these moments where we can hang out at the end of the video. I can ask you to subscribe to the channel. You can say you already did, and then I can ask you to hit the notification bell, and you might have already done that. And then I can ask you to follow me on Twitch, and then you may have already done that. And I ask you to use a Twitch Prime sub there, and maybe, anyway, sorry, Alienware will yell at me if I don't actually talk to you about Intel Gamer Days, which is kicking off on the 13th of this month. They're going to be doing a bunch of really cool stuff, and you can check that out over at alienware.com/Travis. There's a link in the video description. They are giving away a ton of stuff, including a monitor, a computer, a $300 Steam gift card. Go check it out. It's really cool that they're partnering with Intel to make this whole thing happen, and I love partnering with Alienware so that they can make things happen like this for you. So either way, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.